Barack Obama gave a speech at the Democratic National Convention. I don't know if you saw it. But Barack Obama is the supreme gaslighting, bullshitting Manchurian candidate of all time. Of all time. People thought Reagan was good. Barack Obama. Oh, such a company man. Such a willing corporate tool. And he follows the edict of you can never prosecute powerful people. And so here he was taking shots at Trump. Right, here we go.
What I know about Joe, what I know about Kamala, is that they actually care about every American.
I mean, how do you just... Even he doesn't believe it. Look at him. Even he doesn't believe it. He's like, boy, that's some bullshit. Joe Biden cares so much about every American, he made it harder for them when they got sick and went bankrupt. That's what a good guy Joe Biden is. He made it harder for people when they were in dire straits. And Barack Obama is doing his sincere voice, the fake acty voice, the Joe really loves you. That's when Barack Obama's trying to get in your pants voice. Oh, baby, man, you're the most beautiful. I really love you. Mm-hmm. That's why he keeps pausing, because he knows he's got nothing to say. I know that they care about all Americans, and I hope that you know that I am making this shit up. Democracy.
In the immediate aftermath of 9/11, we did some things that were wrong. We did a whole lot of things that were right, but we tortured some folks. We did some things that were...
We did a lot of stuff that was right. Like what? Could you name one thing? I'm going to guess no. Did a lot of things right. You know, the Iraq War. Having the cops infiltrate Muslim organizations and mosques. Repealing habeas corpus. The Patriot Act. Suspending completely breaking the Fourth Amendment. Turning America into a surveillance state. You know, we did a lot of things right. Opened Guantanamo Bay, developed a torture program worldwide, started doing, what was it called? Renditions. What's the word? Anyway, we did nothing right after 9/11. Nothing. We're still in Afghanistan 20 years later, asswipe. Your whole presidency, we stayed in Afghanistan the whole time. Why? Because he was told to. Do you think he thought it was good strategy to keep us in Afghanistan? He was told to by the people he takes orders from.
Are you saying extraordinary rendition?
Extraordinary rendition is exactly right.
Contrary to our values. I understand why it happened. I think it's important when we look back to recall how afraid people were after the Twin Towers fell and the Pentagon had been hit and the plane in Pennsylvania had fallen and people did not know whether more attacks were imminent. And there was enormous pressure on our law enforcement and our national security teams to try to deal with this, working hard under enormous pressure and are real patriots. But having said all that, we did some things that were wrong.
We tortured some folks.
And that's what that report reflects. And that's the reason why after and when we engaged in some of these enhanced interrogation techniques.
Enhanced, see, that's my favorite. Enhanced interrogation technique. Enhanced? That sounds like it's nice. Are you going to turn on some mood music and some track lighting? No, we're going to hook your balls up to a car battery and then take turns drowning you. Oh, I'll just take the regular. Don't make a fuss out of me. I'll crack like enhanced interrogation enhanced.
Techniques that I believe, and I think any fair-minded person would believe, were torture. We crossed the line. And that needs to be...
I like the tone. We crossed the line. And not like, there was a torture program, and these animals, these subhumans, will be made an example of. We're supposed to be better than our enemies, not worse. You're supposed to have values, and you're supposed to practice them when the chips are down. That's why they're values. And as Jon Stewart pointed out, if you don't follow your values when things are hardest, then they're not values. They're hobbies. That's the tone he should have. But he's like, oh, we did, we had a worldwide torture program.
That needs to be understood and accepted.
So you know what it doesn't need to be? I guess prosecuted. He had a worldwide torture program that needs to be understood. Not prosecuted. Not prosecuted. Isn't that interesting?
Techniques that I believe, and I think any fair-minded person would believe, were torture. We crossed the line. And that needs to be... needs to be understood and accepted.
That needs to be understood, not prosecuted. Isn't that interesting? And we crossed the line, and that needs to be understood, not prosecuted. Isn't that interesting?
That needs to be understood.
Now, keep in mind what he's talking about are the worst crimes you could commit, crimes against humanity. These are war crimes, torture, depraved indifference. He's talking about the worst crimes in the world. Inside of a theater where you are allowed to shoot someone in the head and it's legal, they found a way to do something criminal. Those are the crimes he's talking about. The depraved indifference. And what are we supposed to do about them?
Believe were torture. We crossed the line. And that needs to be
prosecuted. That needs to be prosecuted.
That needs to be understood and accepted.
And accepted. Just accept it. He's trying to say we need to accept that we did this. But there are no consequences for us accepting that we did this, right? So it's easier to accept something that you did if there's no consequence, right? Exactly.
And we have to, as a country, take responsibility for that.
As a country, why would he say that? Because if you have to take responsibility for something as a country, that means no one has to take responsibility for it. If we all take responsibility for it, no one's guilty. We all have to take responsibility. You can't put everybody in jail, can you? How about we just put the people in jail who did it, and then we'll all still take responsibility? No one goes to jail, no prosecutions, but lip service, this crazy fealty to justice that we all, what the fuck?
So that hopefully we don't do it again in the...
No, you know how you make sure we don't do it. Hopefully. So hopefully, you know why he has to say hopefully? Because he knows it's going to happen if it's not already still happening. Why? Because the reason why you prosecute a crime is as a deterrent. And when you don't prosecute a crime, you are guaranteeing it is going to continue. So now let's go back to him. Here we go.
What I know about Joe, what I know about Kamala, is that they actually care about every American. And that they care deeply about this democracy. They believe that no one, including the president, is above the law.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So this is very popular to say right now. But I don't know if you watched that video I just saw. That was Barack Obama using the most tortured logic to not prosecute the worst crimes a human being can commit. The worst crimes human beings can commit. They did it under the official sanction of the government, and Barack Obama did not prosecute them on purpose. But right now, he's puffing up his chest to act like they give a shit about the rule of law and that even a president is above the law. Well, you know goddamn well presidents are above the law. You know goddamn well presidents are above the law. You know George Bush and Dick Cheney are both war criminals. You know that. You know Colin Powell's a war criminal. Of course they're above the law. All the people who did the torture program are above. Those presidents were above the law. By the way, Barack Obama, you're a war criminal. 90% of your drone program killed innocent civilians. You killed an American citizens overseas extrajudiciously without a trial. A child. You are a war criminal. You did Yemen. You supplied arms and money to ISIS. You tried to do Syria. You did Libya. He is a fucking war criminal to the 10th power. He's done more war criming than Trump. And this guy's going to talk about nobody's above the law. He's above the law. He's a war criminal. Joe Biden is also. So is Nancy Pelosi. So is George Bush. And so is Dick Cheney. So is Colin Powell, the guy who just endorsed Joe Biden. These guys are all criminals of the highest order.
And that no public official, including the president, should use their office to enrich themselves or their supporters.
Barack Obama now lives in a 48-acre Martha's Vineyard estate that he bought from the guy, I think, who used to own the Boston Celtics. Check me on that. 48 acre, 49 acre. Look it up. Is it 49 acre? Martha's Vineyard estate. Not 1 acre. Boy, that's a big piece of property. We got a whole acre?
Nearly 30 acres.
Now it's 30 acres?
Yes, that's what I see here.
You see 30? I read 48 acres.
Oh.
But maybe I'll go with the law. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. 30-acre Martha Vineyard estate.
How can you be happy there?
You're not supposed to enrich yourself. So that's just straight up bullshit gaslighting of the highest order. There is no bigger fucking lying, gaslighting Manchurian candidate in the world than Barack Hussein Obama. The Black Santa Claus is a fraud. He's why you got Donald Trump, you fucking morons. This is why. Because he gave you a right-wing healthcare plan. Because he took us from 2 wars to 7 instead of the other way. He made the banks bigger while he kicked 5.1 million families out of their fucking house in the last economic crisis while doing nothing for people. He did nothing for Occupy Wall Street. He let cops crack their heads. Did nothing for DAPL. Did nothing for anybody except big pharma, health insurance, the military-industrial complex. He did Libya. He tried to do Syria. He dropped so many bombs that the military ran out of bombs under Barack Obama. You know, he dropped more bombs than George Bush. This guy's a straight-up war criminal. His drone program killed 90% civilians. He killed an American citizen without a trial in another country on purpose, who was a child. And then they joked about it. And this is the guy who's going to fucking tell you that nobody's above the law. He's not only himself above the law, but he was the one who facilitated George Bush and all the torturers for being above the law. He did it personally.
In the immediate aftermath of 9/11, we did some things that were wrong. We did a whole lot of things that were right, but we tortured some folks.
And I'm not going to prosecute those people, but I will give a grandstanding, bullshitting, gaslighting speech in 8 years to keep people voting for their fucking oppressors, just like Barack Obama was.
The most popular question on your own website is related to this. On change.gov, it comes from Bob Furtick of New York City, and he asks, will you appoint a special prosecutor, ideally Patrick Fitzgerald, to independently investigate the gravest crimes of the Bush administration, including torture and warrantless wiretapping?
We're still evaluating how we are going to approach the whole issue of interrogations, detentions, and so forth. And obviously, we're going to be looking at past practices. And I don't believe that anybody is above the law. On the other hand, I also have a belief that we need to look forward as opposed to looking backwards.
Ah.
Boy, that's Barack Obama's way of saying no. That's how he says. He took the longest way possible to say no. I'm not going to appoint a special prosecutor to prosecute torturers and war criminals. No. Why? Because he's looking forward. He doesn't want to look back. All those torture crimes happened in the past, and Barack Obama's looking towards the future. Doesn't that make you feel better to know that all your past crimes aren't prosecutable? Isn't that nice to know? I bet all those people in prison are pissed off they committed their crimes in the future. And there's George Stephanopoulos like, whoa, that's a good one. Looking towards the future. Because all those crimes happened in the past. Put a positive spin on overlooking war criminals. Not holding people accountable because they're powerful. Wow. He's just like, genius. You could see this kid's a genius. No wonder he beat Hillary Clinton. That's what he's thinking. Hey, should we do something about the past administration's war crimes? Nah, let's not get caught up in the day-to-day politics, huh? A mistake Obama made was not investigating, prosecuting, and legislatively correcting the Bush administration's crimes of torture, no-bid contracts, stop-loss conscription, Cheney arguing he was above the law, etc. It showed the GOP that they can do this and get away scot-free. Can I just tell that first of all, I love that. That's why I'm showing this tweet. That's a lot of good stuff in there. But can I just correct one thing? It was not a mistake that Barack Obama made by not investigating, prosecuting, and legislatively correcting the Bush administration's crimes. That was not a mistake. A mistake is when you forget to put a stamp on a letter. That's a mistake. This was a conscious choice that Barack Obama made, that all presidents make, not to prosecute their predecessors because they don't want to be prosecuted when they leave office. So they want to make sure we're all above the law. That's what Barack Obama wanted. Believe me, they're not going to prosecute Donald Trump. If Joe Biden's president, the last thing they're going to do is prosecute Donald Trump. They're definitely above the law. And what they're doing is bullshitting you so they can get you to vote for your oppressor. How about instead of continuing and expanding the Bush 43 wars, Barack Obama and Joe Biden could have prosecuted Bush 43 and his administration for war crimes. Presidents were not meant to be above the law or immune from consequences. Agreed. And Barack Obama will tell you the same thing, as he doesn't prosecute war criminals and makes sure he's not prosecuted.
We know because we've seen what you've had to say on the subject.
Now, this is an interview from 2010. So Barack Obama has barely been president for 2 years. Watch this.
How you regard Bush and Blair's record in the Middle East. Do you think Obama's no better?
In many ways, it's worse.
Why?
I've been writing about it. I started writing about it before the election.
Why is he worse?
Well, should we go through the details?
Please.
I like how the reporter laughs. What? He doesn't go, fuck, this guy who's obviously way smarter than me just said something that sounds ridiculous to me, so I guess I should investigate this instead of laughing at it. You're obviously interviewing him because he's one of the leading intellectuals in the fucking world.
Notice that this is the Nuremberg principles, not the trials.
But Obama would fare no better were those principles applied to him.
No, he's carrying out a major war in Afghanistan. He's supporting. He's directly involved in aggressive and criminal actions carried out by Israel, for example. He's only been in office for 2 years, so he hasn't a chance to invade anyone yet. But his record is quite consistent with what's happened before.
And after that, so he was already worse, according to Chomsky in many ways. That was before Barack Obama did Libya, turned Libya, the most successful state in Africa, into a failed state with open slave markets. Barack Obama did that. He ruined another country. You know how they did 9/11 in New York? He did that every day for a couple years in Libya. That's what Barack Obama did to Libya. Then he went on to do Syria. Tried to do another illegal war. And how did he do it? By funding ISIS, Al-Qaeda, terrorists to overthrow a sovereign state. Barack Obama also went on to have a drone program that killed 90% innocent civilians. That's just off the top of my head, the stuff that Barack Obama went on to do. Dropped more bombs than George Bush. Dropped so many bombs, they ran out of bombs. The Obama administration may be guilty of war crimes. May be guilty of war crimes? I guess it just depends on your definition of guilty. American officials could be prosecuted for war crimes in Yemen. They won't, but, if this was a rational society or something, it could happen. Yeah, that was before Barack Obama did Yemen. Democrats can't win until they recognize how bad Obama's financial policies were. That's from the Washington Post. And considering most Democrats still think he walks on water, I won't hold my breath for this to happen. People still think he's FDR instead of what he was, Ronald fucking Reagan 2.0. Thanks to Obama bailouts and Trump tax cuts, 5 largest U.S. banks have raked in $583 billion since 2008 crash. With no jail time for executives and $500 billion in post-crisis profits, the big banks have made out like bandits during the post-crash period. And we didn't even need a pandemic for that one, suckers. So here's Barack Obama talking to young people.
To the young people who led us this summer, telling us we need to be better.
Haha, suckers.
In so many ways, you are this country's dreams fulfilled.
Okay, they're the country's dreams fulfilled. So the goal of the United States was to have an entire generations of people that know nothing but recession, have few job prospects, will likely face crippling debt, and are protesting and striking for their very survival. That's not a dream, Barack Obama. That's a goddamn nightmare.
To the young people who led us this summer, telling us we need to be better. In so many ways, you are this country's dreams fulfilled. Earlier generations had to be persuaded that everyone has equal worth. For you, it's a given, a conviction. And what I want you to know
is that we decided, my generation, to be so incredibly shitty that you guys had to pay attention. Vote blue.
is that for all its messiness and frustrations, your system of self-government can be harnessed to help you realize those convictions.
What in the fuck is he talking about? What self-government have we So he's pretending still that politicians represent the people who vote for them, even though it's been scientifically proven we live in an oligarchy. You don't live in a democracy. It's already been stolen from you. And he's trying to tell you, oh, yeah, you guys who are out there protesting because of the shitty job me and Joe Biden did, I was with you.
For all of us. You can give our democracy new meaning.
Jesus Christ almighty.
You can take it to a better place.
It's hard to take.
You're the missing ingredient.
You are the missing ingredient. You are the missing ingredient, young people. You are the missing ingredient, young people. Do you feel a little insulted? Do you feel a little condescended to? Because a guy who says that to you thinks you are a fucking moron. And Barack Obama knows you are. Because 90% of the fucking people who hear that speech love it. They have no idea he's a fucking complete sellout, corrupt, gaslighting fucking Ronald Reagan 2.0. So much so that young people, you know who young people wanted? They wanted Bernie Sanders to be president. You know who Barack Obama wanted? Anybody except fucking Bernie Sanders. You're the missing ingredient. What a fucking condescending, gaslighting piece of shit Barack Obama is. You're the missing ingredient. You can harness self-government to bring about your convictions. My convictions is I'd like to have health care in the middle of a pandemic. No, not those convictions. How about I'd like to have some student debt relief as we get $5 trillion to the richest 100th? No, not that conviction. How about I'd like to end the war? Not that conviction. How about I'd like to have a job? Not that conviction. Look who Obama's hidden hand is, candidates coalescing around Biden. So you think he really cares about young people? The missing ingredient? With mainstream Democratic support rallying behind Joe Biden, it seems that the Democratic establishment is doing everything it can to prevent Bernie Sanders from winning the nomination. Sources close to Obama indicated he was assisting the orchestration of a consolidation of support behind Biden. What? He's lying straight right to your fucking faces and you don't care. He's lying right to their faces and they don't care. It's like Chris Hedges said years ago. They lie, cheat, and steal right out in the open. They don't even hide their corruption anymore. Accelerate the endgame. Obama's role in wrapping up the primary. So he made sure we got Joe Biden and not someone who is progressive. He did the bidding of the Wall Street, the military-industrial complex, big pharma, health insurance, and fossil fuel companies. That's why he did what he did. Neoliberalism. It's a lot like a bad movie franchise. The sequel is even shittier. Welcome to the sequel, America. Hey, everybody, this is the part where I tell you where all our live shows are, but there aren't any. And then this is why I tell you to join our premium program and get extra content, but nobody's got a fucking job. So just enjoy the video.